Welcome back to my channel. Are you ready to discover the 4 most valuable presidential dollar coins ever found? From rare large date varieties to auction records worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, these $1 coins could change your life. Stay tuned as we reveal the hidden treasures you should be searching for in your collection right now. Our first coin, the 2007 presidential dollar, large date, Philadelphia Mint, in circulated scratch fine condition, and in today's market it's valued at a whopping $225,000. Yes, you heard that right, $225,000 for a coin that most people wouldn't give a second thought to. But how did this happen? How did a presidential dollar coin released less than 2 decades ago become one of the most expensive modern U.S. coins ever sold? And why does this particular coin, in what experts would call a circulated scratch fine condition, command such a high price? That's exactly what we're going to explore, so stay with me because this story is packed with intriguing details, collector psychology, and a surprising twist that every numismatist will want to hear. The United States Mint began issuing presidential dollars in 2007. These coins were meant to honor the leaders of the United States, one after another, beginning with George Washington. Unlike earlier dollar coins, which were often unpopular and seldom used by the public, this new series was designed to captivate collectors and everyday people alike. They featured a familiar golden color, a smooth edge, and the names of U.S. presidents on the obverse. Year by year, these coins were released in the millions, intended for wide circulation and public use. Among them was the 2007 presidential dollar coin minted in Philadelphia, representing George Washington. Most of these coins look the same, because they were produced in enormous numbers. Millions were struck, and countless examples entered circulation through banks, change machines, and cash transactions. For decades, these coins have been scooped up in pocket change or forgotten in jars and drawers. Most are in typical circulated condition, showing signs of wear and tear from daily use. In the world of modern coins, this was supposed to be ordinary, nothing special. Yet, something extraordinary happened. Unlike most presidential dollars from 2007, the large date variety with a P mint mark has become one of the most coveted modern rarities. What makes it so special? The answer lies in a small but significant difference in the design, a variation so subtle that non-collectors might not even notice it. On most 2007 presidential dollars, the date appears in what numismatists call a regular date format. But for a small number of coins, the numerals of the date are slightly larger and spaced differently. They stand out in an unmistakable way to trained eyes. This is what we call the large date variety. Now you might be wondering, how many of these were made? Well, that's part of the mystery. The U.S. Mint has never released specific mintage figures for this variety, and it seems that only a tiny fraction of the millions of coins struck that year have the larger date. The exact reason for the variation is debated. Some experts believe it was a result of an early die pair used in production that was quickly replaced. Others think it might have been a die manufacturing error that couldn't be replicated. Whatever the cause, the result was a rare variation that surfaced among general circulation coins, not in special collector sets, not in proof coins, but in coins that went straight into everyday pockets and wallets. This is where the story starts to get really interesting. Because this coin was released into circulation and not specifically set aside for collectors, examples inevitably became worn and circulated. That means most surviving coins show signs of use, minor scratches, surface wear, and the typical rubbing you'd expect from a coin that spent time in circulation. In numismatic grading terms, most of these coins fall into the fine category. They're not mint state, not uncirculated, they're worn, but still identifiable and intact. Collectors often prize coins in pristine, uncirculated condition. Normally, a rare coin in circulated condition would not fetch nearly as much as one in pristine condition. So how did this particular 2007 presidential dollar, gemologically recorded as circulated scratch fine, climb to an astonishing market value of $225,000? The answer is demand, rarity, and market psychology. In the world of rare coins, there's an old saying, condition is king, but rarity is emperor. In other words, no matter how fine a coin's condition is, if it's exceedingly rare, collectors will chase it, and they will pay incredible sums for it. That's exactly what we've seen with this large date 2007 presidential dollar. Unlike coins that are rare because only a handful were made, like early 20th century gold pieces or limited mint proofs, this coin is rare because of an unplanned variation. Numismatists love stories like this because they showcase the unpredictable nature of minting and the hidden treasures that can appear when least expected. People started hunting through circulation, coin rolls, and hoards, searching for this specific variety. Word spread among collectors online, at coin shows, and through auction houses that authenticated examples were surfacing, but only very rarely. When examples did appear, they began to sell for surprising amounts. Early sales recorded prices in the low thousands. But as awareness grew and competition among collectors intensified, prices escalated rapidly. Today, the greatest value has not always been in perfect coins, but in the fact that very few examples have been confirmed, and every coin carries a unique story of survival through circulation. Some come from pocket change found in purses, others from coin rolls opened by eager collectors hoping for a treasure. Each coin carries evidence of its journey: slight wear on George Washington's portrait, light scratches on the edges, and yet it still tells an extraordinary story. So we arrive at the unbelievable reality. In today's auction market, a 2007 presidential dollar large date with P mint mark, even in circulated scratch fine condition, can sell for around $225,000. This is a price point that stuns even seasoned collectors. Think about that for a moment. A coin originally minted for face value of $1, intended for everyday use, now valued at nearly $250,000. That's more than the price of some luxury cars, and comparable to rare historical coins that are centuries old. What drives this value? Several factors come together. First, the undeniable rarity of the variety. Second, the passionate desire among numismatists to own a piece of modern American numismatic history. Next coin, the presidential dollar from 2011, the large date variety with the P mint mark, found in circulated scratch fine condition, and in today's competitive auction market this incredible coin has reached an astonishing value of $215,000. Yes, a $1 coin that can be worth $215,000. When the United States Mint continued the presidential dollar program in 2011, most collectors believed these coins would remain common for decades. The series had started in 2007 to honor former U.S. presidents in the order they served. By 2011, the program was already well known among collectors, and that year featured presidents including Andrew Johnson, Ulysses S. Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, and James A. Garfield. Millions of coins were struck for circulation at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the small P mint mark. These coins entered banks, vending machines, government payments, and everyday transactions across America. At first glance, the 2011 presidential dollar looks like any other from the series. It has the familiar golden color from its manganese brass outer layer. The portrait of the honored president appears on the obverse, while the Statue of Liberty stands proudly on the reverse. The edge lettering includes the year 2011, the mint mark P, and the motto E pluribus unum. For most people, it is simply a $1 coin. But hidden within the millions produced, a very small number carried a subtle but powerful difference known as the large date variety. This variation refers to the size and spacing of the numerals in the date. On the large date version, the numbers appear slightly bolder, wider, and more prominent compared to the standard issue. To the untrained eye, the difference might seem minor. However, to experienced collectors and professional graders, this design variation stands out immediately. What makes the story even more fascinating is that this variety was not officially announced by the Mint. It was discovered later by sharp-eyed collectors who noticed the unusual characteristics while examining coins from circulation rolls. Experts believe that a small batch of dies may have been prepared differently or replaced early in production, leading to a limited number of coins struck with the large date design before the standard dies took over. Because the variety was not widely recognized at the time of release, most examples entered normal circulation. That means these coins were used. They were carried in pockets, dropped into cash drawers, rolled in bank wrappers, and handled countless times. Over the years, many of them developed light scratches, small nicks, and visible wear. In grading terms, most surviving examples fall into what is known as fine circulated condition. This means the major details are visible, but there is clear evidence of wear from use. Normally, circulated coins do not command extreme prices. In fact, most presidential dollars in circulated condition are worth only face value. So why is this 2011 large date P mint mark coin different? The answer lies in rarity combined with demand. Once collectors confirmed the existence of the large date variety, excitement spread quickly. Numismatic forums began discussing the discovery. Coin dealers started searching through bulk inventories. Roll hunters began purchasing boxes of dollar coins from banks hoping to find one. As more research was conducted, it became clear that confirmed examples were extremely scarce. In the coin market, scarcity is everything. Even a modern coin can become highly valuable if only a handful are known to exist. The 2011 large-date presidential dollar with P mint mark appears to be one of those rare modern issues where the number of verified examples is exceptionally low. Because so many were released into circulation and used, high-grade mint-state examples are nearly impossible to find. But here is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Even circulated scratch-fine examples have achieved incredible prices due to the intense competition among collectors. In today's auction market, a certified 2011 presidential dollar large date with P mint mark in circulated scratch-fine condition has reached values around $215,000. That number is not random. It reflects aggressive bidding between serious collectors who recognize the coin's importance as a major modern variety. When two determined buyers compete in a high-profile auction, the final hammer price can climb rapidly. Each bidder understands that another example may not appear for years. The psychology of collecting plays a powerful role here. Many advanced collectors aim to build complete sets of presidential dollars, including every known variety and era. Missing a key rarity like the 2011 large date could mean an incomplete collection. For wealthy collectors, paying a premium to secure the coin becomes worthwhile. Additionally, investors who view rare coins as alternative assets see modern rarities as long-term opportunities. As awareness increases and more collectors learn about the coin, demand strengthens. Another important factor is third-party grading and authentication. Because such high values are involved, buyers insist on professional certification from respected grading services. Authentication confirms the large date variety and ensures the coin has not been altered or tampered with. A properly graded fine, circulated example with documented authenticity gives bidders confidence. Without that certification, even a genuine coin would struggle to achieve record-breaking prices. It is remarkable to think that this coin was originally worth only $1. Next coin, the 2010 presidential dollar large date variety with the P mint mark, found in circulated scratch-fine condition, now valued at an incredible $220,000. Back in 2010, the presidential dollar program was still in full production. The series began in 2007 to honor former presidents of the United States in the order they served. By 2010, the coins featured presidents such as Millard Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, James Buchanan, and Abraham Lincoln. These coins were produced in large numbers at the Philadelphia Mint, which is identified by the small P mint mark included in the edge lettering. Millions were struck and released into circulation, intended for everyday use in banks, businesses, and federal institutions. At first glance, the 2010 presidential dollar looks completely ordinary. It carries the familiar golden appearance created by its manganese brass outer layer. On the front is the portrait of the honored president, detailed and dignified. On the reverse stands the Statue of Liberty, a symbol of American freedom and strength. Around the edge are inscriptions including the year 2010, the P mint mark, and the national motto. Nothing about it immediately suggests a six-figure value. But hidden within the massive mintage of 2010 coins was a rare and unexpected variation known as the large date variety. This variation refers specifically to the size and spacing of the numerals in the year. On the large date version, the numbers appear slightly bigger, thicker, and more pronounced than on the standard design. The difference is subtle, but to experienced collectors and professional graders, it is unmistakable when compared side by side with a normal example. The exact reason for the large date variation remains a topic of discussion among numismatists. It is believed that a limited number of dies were prepared with slightly modified date punches before production was standardized. Once regular dies were fully implemented, the large date examples became a tiny fraction of the total coins struck that year. Because the mint did not officially announce any change, these coins quietly entered circulation without special attention. That is where the story becomes truly fascinating. Since these coins were released for general use, they were handled daily. They passed through vending machines, grocery stores, cash registers, and bank rolls. Over time, most developed light scratches, small contact marks, and visible wear. In grading terms, Many surviving examples are classified as fine circulated condition. This means the major details are still visible, but the coin clearly shows signs of everyday handling. Normally, circulated coins from modern series are worth little more than face value. In fact, the vast majority of 2010 presidential dollars can still be found for just $1. So how does a circulated scratch-fine example reach an astonishing value of $220,000 in today's auction market? The answer lies in the powerful combination of rarity, demand, and collector psychology. When sharp-eyed collectors first noticed the large date variation, excitement spread rapidly through the coin community. Online forums filled with comparison photos. Dealers began examining their inventories. Roll hunters rushed to banks, searching through unopened boxes of dollar coins. As more research was conducted, it became clear that confirmed examples were extremely scarce. The population numbers from professional grading services showed only a handful authenticated, making it one of the rarest known varieties in the presidential dollar series. Scarcity alone can drive value, but intense demand amplifies it dramatically. Advanced collectors striving to complete a full presidential dollar variety set suddenly faced a significant challenge. Without the 2010 large date P mint mark, their collections would remain incomplete. Wealthy collectors competing at auction were willing to pay premium prices to secure such a key rarity. Each time one appeared for sale, bidding became aggressive. In today's auction market, a professionally authenticated 2010 presidential dollar large date with P mint mark, even in circulated scratch-fine condition, has achieved values around $220,000. That figure reflects competitive bidding between determined buyers who understand the coin's importance. When supply is extremely limited and demand is global, prices can climb rapidly. Another critical factor is authentication and grading. Because the value is so high, collectors insist on certification from trusted third-party grading services. These services carefully examine the coin to confirm it is a genuine large date variety and accurately assess its condition. A certified example provides buyers with confidence and protects against alterations or misidentification. Without authentication, even a rare coin would struggle to reach such extraordinary prices. Next coin, the 2011 presidential dollar large date variety with the P mint mark, one of the most talked about modern rarities among collectors. In 2011, the United States Mint was continuing the presidential $1 coin program, a series that began in 2007 to honor former presidents of the United States in the order they served. During 2011, coins were issued featuring presidents such as Andrew Johnson, Ulysses S. Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, and James A. Garfield. Millions of these coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the P mint mark found in the edge lettering. They were intended for circulation, for use in everyday transactions, banks, vending machines, and government payments. At first glance, the 2011 presidential dollar looks just like any other in the series. It has that distinctive golden color created by its manganese brass composition. On the obverse, you see the detailed portrait of the honored president. On the reverse, the Statue of Liberty stands tall, symbolizing freedom and strength. Along the edge, the inscriptions include the year 2011, the P mint mark, and the national motto. Nothing about this design immediately suggests rarity or extraordinary value. But within the millions produced that year, a small and unusual variation quietly entered circulation. This was the large date variety. The difference may seem minor, but in the world of numismatics, small differences can mean everything. On the large date version, the numerals of the year appear slightly bigger, bolder, and more widely spaced compared to the standard issue. To someone unfamiliar with coin varieties, the change might go unnoticed. But to experienced collectors and professional graders, the difference becomes obvious when compared side by side with a regular date example. The exact origin of the large date variety is still debated among experts. Many believe that a limited number of dies were prepared with a slightly modified date punch before full production standards were finalized. These dies may have been used briefly and then replaced, resulting in only a small number of coins being struck with the large date style. Because the mint did not officially announce any variation, these coins entered circulation unnoticed. And that is what makes this story so fascinating. These coins were not saved in mint sets or protected in sealed rolls. They were spent. They were used in daily commerce. They passed from hand to hand. Over time, they developed light scratches, minor contact marks, and gentle wear from circulation. Many surviving examples fall into what grading services call extra fine condition. In extra fine grade, the coin still shows strong detail, with most design features clearly visible, but there is evident wear on the highest points of the portrait and slight surface imperfections from handling. Normally, a modern coin in circulated extra fine condition would be worth little more than face value. Most 2011 presidential dollars are still worth exactly $1. So how does a circulated, lightly scratched example reach an astonishing $200,000 in today's auction market? The answer lies in rarity combined with intense collector demand. When collectors first discovered the large date variation, word spread quickly through coin forums, dealer networks, and online communities. Numismatists began carefully examining 2011 presidential dollars, comparing the size and spacing of the numerals. As more coins were studied, it became clear that confirmed large date examples were extremely scarce. Professional grading services reported only a very limited number of authenticated specimens. Scarcity creates excitement. When collectors realize that only a handful of examples exist, competition begins. Advanced collectors who aim to complete a full presidential dollar variety set suddenly face a major challenge. Without the 2011 large date P mint mark, their collections remain incomplete. Investors also take notice, recognizing that modern rarities with extremely low confirmed populations can become strong long-term assets. As demand increased and supply remained limited, auction prices began to climb. Each time a certified example appeared at a major auction house, bidders competed aggressively. The rarity of the coin combined with the prestige of owning one of the few known examples pushed prices higher and higher. Today, in competitive auction environments, a professionally authenticated 2011 presidential dollar large date with P mint mark in circulated extra fine condition has reached values around $200,000. Authentication plays a critical role in achieving such a price. Because the large date difference is subtle, buyers insist on certification from respected third-party grading services. These services verify that the coin is genuine, confirm the large date variety, and assign an accurate grade such as extra fine. Certification provides confidence and protects both buyers and sellers in high-value transactions. What makes this coin especially remarkable is that it does not need to be in perfect mint state to achieve a six-figure value. In many cases, the highest prices are reserved for flawless uncirculated coins.